Hello, my name is Samar. I also go by Sam or First Time Panner. Any of those you want to call me, you can. This will be an update from my Pan That palette project, and this is like a seasonal Pan That palette. Seasonal. Just watch my intro for this project. I always say the same thing and it never makes sense, so just watch my intro. I'm doing 4 eyeshadow palettes and 1 Franken face palette this year, and my progress is minimal every single month. And also I'm filming this after I was just at a little barbecue get together for like 7 hours. I thought I was only gonna be there for 2 hours, so I didn't get to film this until now, and it's like 9 at night. So if you can hear that, that's my cat drinking water. But yeah, we're just gonna, and my suitcase is still in the background because I still haven't started packing and I'm leaving in a few days. We're gonna try to get through this. But yeah, also don't pay attention to that stain. I've spilled shish kebab on myself because that's just what I do. But the first thing that I'll talk about is my face palette, which always looks the exact same every time. So here's what it looks like now. Again, there's literally no difference. I wore this 2 or 3 times in the past month. I'm including today. I'm wearing it today. I'm wearing the contour, bronzer, highlight, and then this blush on top of a orange cream blush that I wanted to match my like orange look that I have going on. But it's been a while since I put this makeup on, about like 9 hours ago, so most of my blush has worn off, and then also the light, because it's so dark I have to put the lights up so bright, it always washes my blush out, so you can't really see either of these blushes. But just know I'm wearing most of the things in this palette, but it will always look the same, especially because I've had to repress like half of the shades in this palette throughout the years, so I just lose progress every time I make any. There's Rosie. I definitely will not be hitting pan on anything in there, even by the end of the year. I don't even have a dip in anything, but this has actually been pretty handy to use all year. Moving on to my eyeshadow palettes, first I'll talk about the Norvina, which has been my focus seasonal palette for the past 3 or so months, at least the past 3 updates. This is what it's looking like now. So again, I don't really have any dips in any of the mattes, but the only 2 mattes I was using is Volatile and Eccentric. However, I have been using all of the shimmers, except for Drama. I just haven't had an opportunity to use a dark purple. Sorry, my cat keeps going in and out of the litter box and not doing anything. There's nothing wrong with her other than her attitude. She just likes to do that when I film. Anyway, I wore a lot of this shade of purple my first quarter when I was panning the e.l.f. Rose Gold palette. Maybe I'm just a little burnt out on it, and I also really haven't had an opportunity to wear something that deep because I've always, if I'm doing a purple look, I always have it in something else. So I haven't used this one. I also haven't used Celestial, but that, at least in my palette, is a complete dud shade. It's really, really bad. And then I haven't used Wild Child, but because I almost never wear pink eyeshadow. But all the other shimmers I've been using pretty regularly the past 3 months. I don't have pan on anything. I did have to, after the first month, I had to repress Dreamer here because I dropped the palette and it shattered. That one I probably would have had pan in by now if I hadn't dropped it, because I use this pretty often as an inner corner shade whenever I do a cool tone look. I'm wearing Summer now on top of a few shades from my Sassy Siennas palette, which is my current palette for my Project Level Up Light. I really like pairing Summer with either those shades or the shade Eccentric. And then, as always, I've been using either Rose Gold or Dazzling on top of Volatile ever since I rolled out all of my other cool tone neutral palettes that I was panning in other projects. I've been using Volatile a lot, so I would say it's not like a dip, but it's like the beginnings of a dip in this shade. You probably still won't be able to tell, but I have been using that shade quite a lot. But I did find that I do have to set my eyeshadow primer when I use this, just because this is actually a very pigmented shade. Both of these are, but I feel like I can get away with this being a little bit more bold because I do have warm undertones. But when I wear this and it's just like straight color on my eye, it looks a little bit much, especially for work. So I usually do find something, usually from my Supreme Nudes palette. I set my eyeshadow primer for this, and then yeah, I put either rose gold or dazzling on top, and as you can see, I have really good dips, especially in rose gold. I feel like I could, when I say I don't do pink looks a lot, I feel like this is more of a mauve pink. It's not a rose gold at all. It's more of like a mauve pink. And I do like that shade on me, and I feel like if I kept using it, I could hit pan on it by the end of the year. But I don't want to force myself to use it too much because it is time to roll in my final focus palette of the year, which is my Pat McGrath Labs Eye Ecstasy Sublime eyeshadow quint. It's just 5 shades and they do have names. I think it goes, it's really hard to read the shade names from here, but Sinful, Gold Nectar, Extrovert with an S in the beginning, and then Illicit and Corruption. Corruption is actually I'll swatch all of these actually so I don't have to keep holding the palette up. So the shade Corruption, you can probably see it in the camera now. It's like a red gold duochrome, which is really pretty. I don't like red at all on myself, like as far as eyeshadow, and I barely like it on my lips, but this is really the only red that I enjoy to wear because it's so pretty. Then Extrovert with an S in front, it's just a really, really, really pretty kind of like neutral-ish. I feel like it leans slightly warm, but on me it just looks neutral, metallic that I can wear over like any neutral matte, and it just always looks perfect. And it's also extremely smooth. It's not this one here, which is Gold Nectar. This is the only one in here that's like a really thick metallic, but the other 3 are very thin and just like so light on the eyes, and it looks so pretty, and I'm excited to use it for work. And then these 2 I feel like are a good cool and warm tone option if I want something like that. So I feel like I could use this in the place of the one that I'm wearing on my eyes right now, the shade Summer. I feel like I could wear this one instead of Summer with this exact look. And then this one, which is, I think I covered it, but I think it's called Illicit. It's like it looks patchy here, but it's not actually patchy on the eyes. It's an extremely deep blackened brown, and it's a matte with shimmer in it, which I don't really care for the matte with shimmers, but this one is really good quality. And I would say the only thing missing in this palette is like a mid-tone kind of transition shade for me, which I think I could use Volatile for. I could also use Incense if I don't want to go so cool, because that's like a nice, again, sorry, there's like fur everywhere. I feel like Incense is again a slightly warm leaning neutral brown, so that could be a good option as well, especially to pair with this this shade right here. Okay, Roxy's getting restless, but let me just finish this up really quickly. I just swatched some of the shades from the Norvina palette on this side right here. As you can see, this is the Summer shade, and I feel like they're not the same. Like Summer has a tiny bit more orange in it, which is probably why it pairs so well with these like kind of rusty, not rusty, but like earth toned oranges on my eye. I did get a compliment on my eyeshadow. Someone liked the two-tone colors on my eyes today, and I really do like the way these shades pair together. So I think after I'm done panning these, I would probably still pair those shades. And then of course I can still pair this shade with the Eccentric, which is the like orangey matte in the Norvina palette, once I hit my goal on my Project Level Up Light palette. And then this is the Dazzling shade, like the more neutral. I'll just show you. I'm so bad at this. This is Dazzling, and that's kind of like my go-to cool tone leaning neutral shade that if I just want something very simple on the eyes, I use that. And I wanted to compare it to the Extrovert shade, and this one is definitely more pink, which I kind of knew it was going into this swatch, but I feel like they give off kind of the same depth and vibe. Like, they're very easy to use, neutral, not too assuming shades that I can wear to work. And then this is the Volatile shade swatched next to Illicit. Again, Volatile is not only much cooler, but it's also not much lighter than Illicit. So yeah, I do think I will still have to find, probably in the Supreme Nudes palette, honestly, something to pair it with, since I already used this to set my eyeshadow primer with. But if I'm going for something a bit lighter, again for work, I might want to wear something underneath these two. But I feel like this is Incense, by the way, I forgot to swatch it. This one, that was Roxy jumping on my bed. This one is just a tad bit lighter than Volatile, so this one might be good. And in fact, it might be really good to pair with the Extrovert shade, so I'm gonna have to play around with those. But I think this is a really good selection of shades. Granted, these are the ones for my current seasonal rotation for Pan That palette, but I'm definitely not planning on putting the Norvina away anytime soon because I love it so much. It's just not going to be my focus for most of my metallics and shimmers. So that's it for this update. I don't know if I said this in my last update, but I have officially decided to bring back, I don't know where Rose Gold from e.l.f. is right now. It's probably somewhere in my pile of palettes to put away. But I have decided that I'm not going to declutter these three. The only palette that I'm going to declutter out of these seasonal eyeshadow palettes is my Natasha Denona Mini Star, because I already hit pan in 2 of the shades, and they were the 2 shades that I was using most anyway. And I just really don't like that palette anyway, so I'm letting myself be done with it. But I just cannot be done with the other 3. I feel like there's unfinished business, so I'm not gonna get rid of them yet. And that's all I have to say. So I will just see you in my next video, which I don't know what that's gonna be. My filming schedule is way off track lately. As you can see, I'm filming at like 9:30, 10 right now. So I'll just see you there. Future me will know where I'll see you, and I'll see you. I need to go to bed now. Bye.